What is going on, everybody? This is Owaes back with another video on the channel. Today's topic is JUnit. Unit testing is a critical part of any application development. So we are going to look at how to do unit testing with JUnit in Java. And if you're confused and not sure what is JUnit, then don't worry, I will cover every single thing you need to know about JUnit and how to test Java application using JUnit. Let's start by talking about how to test a program. When a programmer is given an assignment to write a Java program, they are usually given a set of business rules as well as sample input and expected output. All this information is used by a programmer to write a program, and when the coding is done, it is used as a guide to test the application. That's where the JUnit comes to play. JUnit is a Java library designed to help you perform this unit testing. Unit testing is a process of examining a small unit or a piece of a software to verify that it meets the business rules provided. The goal is to assert the expected behavior or state. It is important to understand that JUnit is not part of standard Java class library, but it does come included with some popular IDEs such as IntelliJ IDEA, Eclipse, and NetBeans. There are many ways to test your code, including using the IDE debugging tool or simply adding some print statement to print the result to the output console. These options are great when you are working on your code and trying to debug any logic error, but both styles of tests are limited because they require human judgment to analyze the result. So in addition to debugging tools and print statements, we needed a way to continue testing. This is where JUnit comes in handy. It provides automated testing and validation. Remember, good unit testing is critical to the success of your application. Have you ever seen an error when visiting a website and you receive a HTTP 404 message, which means page not found? These types of problems cause the end user to lose confidence in your application. So you want to make sure that you thoroughly test every possible scenario. This can be time consuming, but using JUnit, you can run several tests with one execution. When testing, we need to identify any input to the method in our code, as well as expected results. It is important to note that once all unit testing is complete, you still need to run integration tests for any application that have complex user interface or other components interaction. Integration test aims to test the behavior of a component or the integration between multiple components. These tests are used to test the entire system. Finally, another type of testing is performance testing. These tests are used to benchmark the software by running repeatedly to simulate user traffic on your application. The purpose is to ensure the code runs fast enough under a high traffic load. JUnit is not set up to do integration or performance testing, but it will help you to get your unit testing done completely and efficiently. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And be sure to follow me on Twitter if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers. This is Owaes back with the next video on JUnit. In the last video, I've explained what is the JUnit and how we can use to test our Java program. In this video, I'm going to show you how to download and install JUnit. To obtain the most recent version of JUnit, you can download it and install it from this website, junit.org/JUnit4. As you can see, at the time of this video, they are working on JUnit 5. So check for the latest version before downloading. Let's click on download and install under the welcome. As you can see, under the plain old jar, where jar stands for Java Archive, we can download the following jar and put them into our test class path. There are two files here, junit.jar and handcrest-core.jar. The handcrest file is used in example provided by this JUnit website. If you're not going to use any of its classes and methods, you don't need to download it. The handcrest framework extend the capabilities of JUnit testing to include what they call a matches. In other words, you can have a type of assert statement that says assert that something equals something else, which is a little different from assert in JUnit. For this tutorial, I'm going to concern on JUnit, but the handcrest extension is worth taking some time to review and becoming familiar with its additional capabilities. You can download more information at handcrest.org/java-handcrest. For now, I'm going to download 2 files. Let's click on junit.jar, which will take me to this page, and I'm going to see the latest version of JUnit. So at the time of this recording, I have 4.12, December 5, 2014. So we have different types of file we can download. I'm going to click on a jar file because I need a jar file. Now it's going to ask me this type of file can harm your computer. Don't worry about it. Just click on keep. It's going to download junit-4.12.jar file. And let's go back. And we are going to download this handcrest-core.java file as well. Sorry, jar file. And now we need to click on jar for 1.3 is the latest version. So click on jar. It's going to give you the same option. This file type can harm your computer. Don't worry about it. It's pretty safe. So let's click on keep. Now we have downloaded these 2 files. Now I have 2 files in the file explorer. You can see I have JUnit jar file and handcrest core. I'm going to show you how to add this to a Java application. For this tutorial, I'm going to use a NetBeans, but later in the course, I'll use every IDE such as NetBeans, Eclipse, or IntelliJ IDEA. I'll show you all 3 IDEs with JUnit. Now, JUnit is already in the NetBeans. You can even add that repository if you're using Maven, or you can just add that it's already in the NetBeans. But I'll show you if you don't see, or if you have older version of NetBeans, you can manually import that jar file as a library. Now let's create a new program. I'm going to use a Java application. Click on next and application file name, and I'm going to click on finish. And then we can import that file into the library, and after that we can use that. Now we should see a project created for us. Let's delete these comments. I'm going to expand my project, and then here we have the libraries. Right now we have JDK 1.8. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to click on add jar/folder. Now I'm gonna go to Dropbox where I downloaded those 2 files. Oops, need to go to Dropbox, Java projects, and there I have JUnit. I'm going to double click on that and it will be added to our library. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And be sure to follow me on Twitter if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers. What is going on everybody? This is Owaes back with the next video of JUnit. So in the first and the second video, I've explained why we need to test our Java application using JUnit, which is a framework for testing our units in Java program. In this video, I will explain the term assertion. So the term assertion or assertion is used by JUnit for all of its unit test case. JUnit provides overloaded assertion method for all the primitive data types, also for objects and arrays of primitives or arrays of objects. The parameter order of an assertion statement is expected value followed by the actual value. We will look at the example as well. Optionally, the first parameter can actually be a string message that is used for output if there is a failure. Assertions can be used to compare expected and actual values for array, single values, objects, and even null values. They can be compared if they are equal, not equal, the same. There are several types of assertions such as assert equal, assert false, and so on. Before we talk about methods available in JUnit assert class, I want to give you an example how to test your code and how we can do a unit testing of a Java application, right, using NetBeans. So we have 3 popular IDEs: NetBeans, IntelliJ IDEA, and Eclipse for Java. I will do a separate video of each of the IDE, how you can do a unit testing using JUnit of an Java application, because the process of unit testing is going to be a little bit different in different IDEs, such as different in NetBeans, different in IntelliJ IDEA, and different in Eclipse. Now, let me give you an example how to run a test of particular code. Now, we have the class named testExample.java. I don't have anything yet in the class. Now let's create a method for testing. Let's just type public method and return type. We're going to say int, and I'm going to name my method add number. Very simple example so you guys understand what I'm talking about and how this unit testing can help you to make better code without bugs. And here in the parameters, I'm going to pass two variables. Let's just say a int b. Now we're going to return a plus b. So we have this method. To make sure that method is working without any error, without any bug, we need to make a test class for this. So in NetBeans, how do we do that? I'm going to give you a simple way to do that. All right, just simply right click on your class, go to tools, and click on create update test. Once you click on that, you will see this dialog box. Here is telling you that what is going to be the package location and the package name for test class. What is going to be the test class name? And then we have the framework. We are using JUnit, which is the popular one. And we have some code generations. I'll leave that as a default, but you can look at it. This is just generating your public, protected, and package private, some of the general code, right? Don't worry about it. Now we make sure we check the integration tests, okay? And let's click on OK. It is going to generate a new class for us. Let's look at the class. I'm going to delete these comments. And then in this class, we have a few methods starting with the different annotations. If you're not sure with annotations, you need to study about it. These annotations play a major role in Java application development. I haven't made a course yet, but in the future, I'll probably make a separate course for all the Java annotations. Now, we not worry about these methods so far because these methods have different annotations and they mean different, okay? What we are looking at is test annotation. So the test annotation means that this method is being tested by JUnit because it's starting from at test. That's the annotation. We tagged with this method by this annotation. Now I'm just going to delete the code in this method first. Now we have the method public void test add numbers. It actually automatically named our method, adding a test text before the actual name of the method in testExample.java. Let's go back to test class. Now here, to run the test, you simply have to right click and then test file. The shortcut key for that is Control F6. Let's run it. And now you can see the result window opened and it's telling me that testExample.testExampleIT passed. So we did not have any error. We had one method which didn't have anything yet, so it passed and it was done in 0.002 second. Now let's use those arguments in this test and use assert equal method from assert class of JUnit. To use that, I could actually make this method static, but for now we just create an object. So let's create an object from that class. So test example, I'm going to name it test is equal to new test example. We created an object. Now I'm going to define a few variables here. So int a is equal to, I can say 6. Oops, I need to put the semicolon instead of single quotes here. And we need another int variable. I'm going to call it b. And I'm going to pass the value of 8. And then after we created this object, I'm going to create another int variable and we can name it result is equal to, we can use that test object dot and we call that method in that class. And here we can pass in A and B. So the result we're gonna get from that method in this class, it is going to be stored. Oops, I made a mistake here. Let's undo. All right, so that result would be saved in this variable result, and its data type is int. Now let's test that whether it's working without any bug. So to do that, I'm going to use a JUnit assert class, assert, and we can use equal method. So this method will expect two values, object expected and object actual. So we can test what we are expecting from this method. We are expecting the result is 8 plus 6 is going to be 14. We are expecting 14, so I type 14 here. Press enter and we pass in the object where we're getting the result. So we'll test these two, which equal means that this is testing, this must be the same. So we have tested 14 is expected, and the result is going to be whatever the result we get from this method, and we pass in these two parameters 6 and 8. Well, basically it's true that it's going to give me the 14 result. So let's see what happens. To run the test in NetBeans, you need to right click and click on test file. There's a different way to run the test in Eclipse and IntelliJ IDEA. I've already said that. I will do a separate video of these two IDEs and how to do unit testing in those IDEs. Let's click run test. Now, congratulations, so our test been successfully passed. So we got the test result, test add number passed, and it was done in 0.004 second. Now, what if we change the value? I say to this test that I'm expecting 4 instead of 14. So what it will do, it will tell me that the value I'm expecting is the same result I'm getting from this method or not. So let's test the file again, and this time it will run, and then as you can see it gave us an error. So the best thing about NetBeans, it actually tells you what is an error. So let's just open it up, and it's telling me that expected 4 but actual was 14. So that is an error. So we can see, we go back and we check the method why we're getting the wrong value, because we are expecting 4 and we are getting result 14. And we will find out that, oh, the variables had the values differently. So the result we were getting, it's actually right because we had these values. So if I change these values to 2 by 2 and we run the test again, and this time I'm getting a result 4 and I'm expecting 4, and it should pass the test. Alright, so it worked. Now we look at this with another method. Now let's create a method of strings. So let's just type string as a data type, add strings, and we pass the parameters string C, string E, and then we can actually return them by concatenating them. So C plus E. Save the file. Let's go to the test, and then we'll write another test. So I'm gonna write another test for that method. So we start with the annotation test, and then we start writing our test method. So let's just push it down, public, and we can say void, and then we're gonna name it. You can name it whatever you want, but it's good because it's a test method. So we start with the test, so we finish with the test. So test add string, and then here we create two string variables to pass the values, or you can just simply pass the values on the method. So we can say test example test1 is equal to new test example, and we created an object. We had to create an object because this object is part of this method. It is not accessible in different. If we had this object specified here outside the method, then we could access that, but now we have to create a new method, a new object from that class. So now let's just call that and store the result in result1 is equal to, and we can say test1 dot add strings, and then here I can pass in the string. So I'll just type my name, owaesmirza. Oops, I need to put the quotation here, and let's get rid of this word. Add a semicolon. Now we can test the results and whatever we are expecting. So I'm gonna type assert equals, and I'm expecting the value of owaesmirza, and we can say I'm going to check this with a variable which has our result, which is result1. Now let's run this test. What do you think? It's gonna give me an error or it's gonna pass the test? Right click, test file. Wow, congratulations. So we passed both tests. Let's open it up. Now we got the add number which was passed and add string which was passed as well. What if I remove this A? Well, it's going to tell me what's an error. Now let's run the test again. Now I should get an error because the expected is owaesmirza, not owaesmirza. So let's open it up, the result, and the first one was passed successfully and the second one failed. The reason why it's telling me down here, if you look at here, it's telling me owaesmirza is expected, so A is missing, that means owaesmirza is expecting, but the actual value we were getting from this method was owaesmirza. As you can see, it added the A in a square bracket, so you can see what's the difference between the actual value and expected value. So that's how you can use assert equal to run your test. Now with assert class, there are so many methods. I'm gonna take you to the documentation. So here we have assert false, assert not null, assert not same, assert null, assert same, and so on. Now the first, as the name suggests, equals, it gets then actual value and the actual result. So actually expected value and the result. Next we have assert false. So it should be false. So if the function returns true, then it will be false as well. So it won't run the method. It won't run the test. We have assert not null. It has to be something in the method, otherwise it won't run the test. So you can check whether the method has something or not by using assert not null. Assert not same, that saying should not be the same object. So if you want to check the expected value and the result is not same, then it will pass the test. So you can check with expected and the result, and as you can see, it shouldn't be same, so you can use this. Assert null should be null. Okay, the method return value should be null. So you can check whether the return value or result is null or not by passing or using this test method, assert null. Now we have so on. We will talk about these in the next video, where I will show you how to use IntelliJ IDEA to run the test. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, and yeah, if you like the video, smash the like button, and if you have any question, you're always welcome to message me on Twitter, or you can comment below. That's fine, and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe because I'm working very hard to make all these videos for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoying it and getting some knowledge from my videos. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers. What is up, everybody? This is Owaes back with the next video of unit testing in Java application using JUnit. So in the last video, I've shown you how to run your tests using NetBeans. In this video, we are going to look at Eclipse, how to run tests in Eclipse. So for that, I'm going to create a new project. Let's create a Java project. I'm going to name it Unit Testing. Let's click on Finish. Now we have the project. I'm going to create a new class. Let's create a new class, and then here we type test, and I'm going to test unit. Okay, now let's click on finish, and we have the class here. Now we need to write a method here what we will test in our test class. So I'm going to write a very simple method so you guys understand, as I did in NetBeans video. So let's just say int is return type, and we can just simply add numbers. Very simple method, just add two numbers and return the result, right? So int a, int b, and then here we can return a plus b. Okay, so this is the method. And now we need to create a test class. Now the actual part of this tutorial starts, right? So in Eclipse, if you want to create a test class, you can right click on the class, go to new, and here we have an option JUnit test case. Let's click on that, and you get this dialog box. Here you can see on the top if you want to use the old JUnit 3 test system, but I will use the latest one, JUnit 4. So let's select that. Now we have the package. If you have any test package here, like what I do with the proper application when I develop, I make a different directory or package, and I put all my tests into that directory. So make sure you do that as well if you are working on actual project. So the name of the class is test unit test. So the naming convention, which is given by Eclipse by default, is the class name, and it adds a test word at the last. And then we don't need to create setup before and tear downs, all this. So just click on finish. And now in the next dialog box, basically it's telling you that JUnit is not in a build path, so you want to add it. You can simply click OK to add that. And now we have the JUnit library into our build path. As you can see here, we have two files, junit.jar and handrest core, the jar file, right? Okay, so let's try this method now. This is a class has been created by Eclipse for us to test that method. I'm going to delete this fail, which means that it will fail the method no matter what happens. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. Now we can create an object for that class test unit. Name it test is equal to, oops, should have named it test is equal to new test unit. Okay, so we created an object. Now let's use that. I'm going to create a new variable which will hold the result value coming from that class method. So let's just name it result is equal to, let's use an object and call the method add numbers, what we just created in test unit class. This is the method we're calling. Let's go back, and then here we need to pass in two integers because the data type in that method is an integer. We can't pass string, or we can't pass double, float, or any other data type. So let's go back here, and then we will see I want to add two integers. So I'll say 3 and we'll say 5. And now you guys understand the answer would be 8, right? But we want to check whether the method is actually giving us the right result or not. Alright, so we got the variable done, we're getting the value, and now we can test that result variable, what the value we got in that variable. So here we can use assert, and the method we're going to use is going to be equals, okay, and then press enter, and first value is going to be expected value, okay, and then second value is going to be whatever we're getting, the actual value. So it will check both values which matches or not. All right, that means that's why we're using assert equal. So what is the expected value? We are expecting 6, let's say. I know we're not expecting 6, but let's say 6. And then actual value is in the result variable we just created. So let's start result. All right, and now in Eclipse, if you want to run the test, you can right click in your test class and go to run as JUnit test. Okay, so the shortcut key for that is Alt Shift X. Okay, and let's click on that, and there you go, we got an error. So the test run, but it failed, and we got the results here which telling you that the assertion error, it was expected 6, but the actual result we got is 8, as you can see here, right? So that means it should have not passed because the value is not as expected, so we're getting the wrong value. So let's just change that to 8, And now let's just run it again. JUnit, oops, test, and this time it should pass. All right, congratulations. So we passed the test. So this is how you can use the unit testing in Eclipse using JUnit. Very simple. Just create a new class and just run the assert method, but make sure you got the variable which holds the actual value. So that's it for this video, guys, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and in the next video I'll show you how to do unit testing in IntelliJ IDEA. What's going on, everybody? This is Owaes back with the next video on Java unit testing using JUnit. So in the last few videos I've shown you how to run your unit test with Eclipse and NetBeans. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to run your test using IntelliJ IDEA, which is another very popular platform for Java development. So let's create a new project. I'm going to click on create new project. Let's select Java and then make sure you select your SDK. Next, click on next. Now here, create project from template. What it will do, it will create a default class with the main method in it, and then you can run that. But I don't want to do that because I want to create my own class and run the test for that class. So let's leave that unchecked. Click on next. Let's name our project, so unit testing. Let's click on finish, and IntelliJ IDEA will create a project for us. So in the project browser, if you go and expand that, you see yours have a source folder there and no classes at all. Now I'm going to right click on my project and then create a new directory. I'm going to name this as test. Now we have another directory. I'm going to mark this as a test source. So right click on that, and here in IntelliJ IDEA we have an option, mark directory as test source root. So that means that any class, if I create any test for any class, and the test file will always go into this test folder. Now let's create a new class. Let's right click on a source package, and I'm going to say unit test 1. Let's click OK. And now in this class, I'm going to create a method what I'm going to test. I'm going to use the same method what I've been showing you in the video of IntelliJ IDEA. So not IntelliJ IDEA, Eclipse and NetBeans. So we can just use the simple method to demonstrate what's going on. So let's type public int is a return type. Method name is going to be return add number. Pass in two variables, A, B, and then we just return A plus B. Okay, this is going to return the add. This is going to add two numbers and return the result. Now we got that. I'm going to save this file. Now to create a test file for this method or for this class in IntelliJ IDEA, you go to your class declaration on the top, click on your class name. All right, and then I'm going to want you to press Alt Enter. And then you have four options here: create test, create subclass, add Java docs, and make package private. We are going to create a test. So let's click on create test. And you get this dialog box here. So in this dialog box, first of all, you need to select the testing library. Right now it's set on to Groovy JUnit. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to select JUnit. And next option, we have JUnit library not found in a module. We can fix that by just clicking on this fix button, and then I'm going to select use JUnit from IntelliJ IDEA distribution, and let's click OK. And next we are going to leave everything default. That's a generate option set up and tear down. So before and after annotation, I've already explained what are they in Java. So check out that video if you want to learn about these. And now we are going to click OK. All right, so we have another class here. I'm going to get rid of the comments. Now we need to create a method for testing. So you start your method with the test annotation. So you annotate your method with the test. Next we type the method public void. We can say test, and then in that method, which is a test method, I'm going to create an object from unit test1 class. Now, unit test1 class, we can name the object test is equal to new unit test1 class. And now let's create a new variable, int variable. Let's just name it result is equal to, I'm going to use the test object, what I just created, and press dot, and then you can access that method which is available in unittest1.java class. Let's use that method. So in that method we need two numbers, int a, int b. So int a would be 5, and then add comma, and it would int b, let's give it 2. All right, and then add a semicolon. Now we can test this, we can test with the assert keyword, assert equal. So I've done a video on different kinds of assert method available in Java JUnit testing framework. So if I click here, you see that it's been added to our library. Now let's use that. I'm going to type assert equals. If I just remove the e, you can see we have different methods here. Array equals, we have the not equal, and we have not null, not same. So as the name suggests, these are very simple. You can just click on them and read about them, what they do, what they check. So in this tutorial we will use equals, and this method expecting two values now, the expected value and the actual value. So what is the expected value? Well, it's up to us to define that, what we are expecting from that method. So the actual value would be 7 here. As you can see that we added two numbers here, 5 and 2, which add up to 7, and we store that result into this result variable, right? And then here I'm going to pass in the actual value. I'm going to toss in 7, and then type comma, and then actual value. So actual value is stored in a result variable, so I can just type simply result here, and then we are going to run this. So how do we run the test in IntelliJ IDEA? The very simple way to run the test, you see this play button here, because you annotate this method as a test method, so you can see the play button next to it. So if I click on that play button and I have this run test option, I can select that, and the shortcut key for that, Control Shift F10. Let's run it. And now let's see if this pass. Okay, so we have this new window open at the bottom. So it's saying that test pass without any errors. So as you see the green OK button. Now, what if I change the expected value to 5? And I know that, and you guys watching know that this is not expected value. This is not actual value. So now if we run the test, run it, and we should get an error. Oops, we got an error. And if I click on that, it's gonna tell me what's the error. So it's telling me that assertion error, expected 5, but the actual value was 7. So our test class and our test method is working properly. One more thing I want to mention here, that you can run multiple tests in one class, in one test class. So if we change that to, let's say, make it 7 back. If we go back to unittesting1.java class, I'm going to create another public method and string as a result type, add string, we name that method, and then we can say string a, c, string d, we can say return c plus d, which is going to concatenate. Now we have another method, right? But we can go back to this unit test class, and then I can just annotate another method starting from test annotation, public void, and test string. And then here we can create another object. We can say test1 is equal to new unit test, and then I'm going to store the result in result 2 is equal to, we could use the object test2 dot, and then I'm gonna call that add string method. Let's add that, Now we need to pass into string. So I'm going to type my name, Owaes, and Mirza. Okay, now we're expecting owaesmirza as a name from this variable. Now we can test that as well. We're getting an error because this is not an int, it's a string. So make sure we got the right data type as well. And now let's use the assert equals again. What is the expected value? I can say owaes, comma, and actual value is result 2. And now let's run the test. I'm going to run this test, and it should give me an error. So we got an error there. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to change this to expected owaes. Okay, we need to add a string, not a number or any random text. Now if we run this test, excuse me, and now we get an error because it's telling me that expected owaes, but it's owaesmirza. So if we change that to Mirza, and then we run all the tests, so run this test, and this is passing, and we can run this test, and this is passing as well. So you can run multiple tests in one test file, right? So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any question, let me know in the comments below. And I'm working very hard, so make sure you subscribe, and if you like this information, then you can share it to your friends who are students or learning JUnit or learning Java. I've done different kinds of Java based tutorials as well, such as creating a media player, notepad application, text editor, even a fax machine in Java. So check them out. I'll drop through video link in the description. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys.